So how do you explain that the strongest emotion is as a result of losing in competition? Because I'm an egoist. What can hurt my pride, my self-esteem, self-appreciation, my status? Of course, losing is a direct insult to my ego. There's no greater impression. The device, it measures impression. It doesn't know plus, minus. For the device, it's impression. So, of course, the greatest impression is from the insult. Why not from the win? Why, when I lose, I get a stronger emotional vibration than when I win in a competition? This is our problem that, first of all, from nature, we're aimed at protecting ourselves from being harmed. And then, if we can protect ourselves for sure from being hurt, then we also want to gain. But first of all, keep what's yours, so to speak, and not to hurt myself. And then I can also start thinking about how can I gain and add. And therefore, an insult to what's mine, that I came with something and I have to leave here a certain sum or something and go home without it, that's the problem. But if suppose I came to a game, poker or something, and I came in order to play, in order to spend time. I know people go to Las Vegas, they go there, they know, today I can lose $20,000. Okay. So he comes because he can't fill himself any other way but through the game. And then, however he makes or loses, even if he loses $20,000, but he comes out of the game with this feeling of action, drive, and he feels good. Feels good. And he doesn't pay any attention to what he lost, but for him it's a gain. Because in the evening he felt so many states during which he felt liveliness, and he enjoys life. I know it on myself. Not on myself that I'm a gamer, but that I was present. I saw it happen. Another question. Tal found out that if a person loses on his own, this is the most powerful feeling. And were we supposed to lose together, it's not that much of a disaster. Why? Because we share both the gain and the loss. I feel that it's not only my loss, but also yours, and we're friends. By this, we actually, how to put it, we soften the result. This is what I'm trying to understand. What exactly does it soften? Why, when I lose on my own, it's a disaster, and when we lose together, then it's not that big of a disaster? Why? You gave an example called losing what's already yours. That's the loss is greater than the gain. Now you're saying when I lose on my own or I lose with a friend, right? Yes. Why does it ease the feeling? What do we say about it? A sorrow shared is half a sorrow. Okay, but tell me why. Because it's shared between everyone. It's no longer that I'm hurt, but several people were hurt, so this insult is divided between many people. Suppose the sum is I lost the same sum. It doesn't matter. You have an example that others lost too. What do we say in times of war? Suppose there's no war now, and suddenly a pipe bursted at home and something's wrong and whatnot. There's no electricity and so on. Oh man, but if it happens all over town or all over the country, so what can you do? You don't feel that you're harmed. So our measurement is only relative, meaning I don't only measure how much I have or don't have, how much I gain or lose, I always compare it with others. Yes, that's how we always are towards society. So our self is less hurt when there's a mutual loss. Also, we saw that when people won together, the response response was stronger than when people lose together. Even though that it's less than competition, but the mutual win had an intensity of its own. Wait, I didn't understand. A group loss influences you less than a group win. And it's counter to the personal loss, which is the greatest intensity, which is greater than the personal gain or win. And here, with the social win or loss, it's the very opposite. Why? So there are several questions here. First of all, if I succeeded together with the group, then my success isn't supposed to be that great, because besides me, others gain too. She's making a doctorate. With her, another 20 people are doing a doctorate, so I'm doing one too. But if that's only me, it's a great success, right? So why isn't it like that? We compared between a state where you lose together and you win together, not one or many. I say, okay, and if I won on my own, it's stronger than winning together. Yes. But if I lose together, then still the feeling is less strong than winning together. The common gain had a stronger impact than the mutual loss. But really, when you win on your own, it's more essential, and also the loss. In short, everything that is on your own and in competition got a greater emotional response. So accordingly, what do you recommend? What's the conclusion for your work? I concluded, on the one hand, as if wanted to say that cooperation is preferable, and we see that it's better, that it creates less tension, less unpleasant social feelings, undoubtedly that it's much more suitable for us emotionally. And along with it, I added that if the competition is done correctly and we know how to channel the tension that it creates for the right goals, maybe competition isn't something that bad. Maybe it's good if we know how to correctly use it. This is what I concluded. I also showed many other researches that talk about it, but not necessarily that cooperation is good and competition is bad, but the right use of competition or cooperation. This is my conclusion, and also a recommendation to use collaboration in education and everywhere actually, because we see that it's good for us emotionally, less stress, and it's also more fun, in my opinion. One more thing I wanted to ask. We found out, in a state of competition, we saw that more areas in the brain are working that are related to cognitive control, mental efforts. The efforts a person has to put in competition is greater than in collaboration. Maybe that's the downside to collaboration, that a person makes less efforts, because if it's together, it's less important. I'm putting in less efforts in order to get the result I want. And in competition, I make greater efforts to get the result that I want. You researched egoistic groups and subjects where the result is clear. From the wisdom of Kabbalah, we discern all these things in advance, and we can even reach the same result without examining the Bar-Ilan University students, intuitively speaking. Right. But it's really interesting to examine our groups. Suppose my students, not the Bar-Ilan students. What about them? That after a year or 2 or 3, after learning, studying the wisdom of Kabbalah and everything that it demands and the changes that a person undergoes, how do these students relate these things to the group or to themselves, loss or gain? What do they appreciate as gain or loss? What do they consider as gain or loss? We have to build such exercises. And please, I'll ask them to put these helmets on. Okay, that's interesting. And make a research, please. So you're actually saying that a person that undergoes a certain preparation that changes his values, what's the difference between your students and others? The results should be different, maybe opposite. Maybe my personal loss will be against my gain, where I connect with others, collaborate with them, and then the result that you see is that I lost, but I'm happy. It'll confuse all the results. It will completely change them. Meaning the studying or the change that a person undergoes will be expressed in his response, of course.